Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan, what is hyperconscious?
Once you understand why something is the way that it is, now you have the power to change it. Great conversations with great people and great questions are the keys to the kingdom of unlocking your consciousness.
Every single action that you do starts as a thought. When you control the way you think, you will control the way you act, and you will control the way you live. That is hyperconscious. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hyperconscious Podcast is proudly sponsored by our friend and mentor, David Meltzer of the Playbook Podcast. He was kind enough to join us on episode 144 and 135.
Folks, it has become Kevin and I's mission in life to help you realize that the life of your dreams is right on the other side of you becoming the greatest version of yourself. Let us help you do that.
I rarely do these things twice in such a short amount of time, but you guys impress me. I believe in people that provide value and of our service. You two guys are on your way to huge fulfillment, purpose, and profitability, and I look forward to helping you both.
We appreciate that more than you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode where Alan and I broed out over intuition.
Oh, yeah.
Today, for episode number 261, we are going to do a Scratching the Surface episode on the number one thing holding you back. It's belief.
It is, you gave away the ending.
Sorry.
Damn.
Or lack thereof.
Lack of belief, to be specific. Folks, before we jump into Kevin's lack of belief in his past.
Pain.
In his past.
Pain.
Yep, and I'm going to interview Kevin on this episode. First, I want you to go to the hyperconsciouspodcast.com. Click on join. Hashtag hyperconsciousnation. Folks, if you lack belief, come join a group of people who believe in themselves and believe in each other, and most importantly, support each other when they're struggling with belief.
I believe that one event can change your entire life, and we believe that event is Top Notch Live, January 25th, the UMass Lowell Convention Center. We are having a full day, full immersion event where our main goal is to help you make 2020 the best year of your life. Alan and I are speaking, Joanna DePena is speaking, Mark Metry is speaking, and Brant Pinvidic is headlining. We also have three other special speakers that we will be revealing at a later date. But everybody sets New Year's resolutions. Most people don't follow through. Do not allow last year's New Year's resolution to be this year's New Year's resolution. Come hang out with us and make a change.
DM myself or Kevin on Instagram if you know of anyone who wants to get involved at alazarus88. That's ALAZAROS88. And Kevin is at Never Quit Kid.
Yes.
But we're going to change that to at Sometimes Quits Kid.
Never.
I'm kidding.
I had somebody actually message me in my DMs that asked about speaking. So things are happening.
I digs it. Okay, so I'm going to interview Kevin about his past today.
Sure, yeah. Little
All right,
therapy session.
We talk a lot about the Drive to 5.
Yes.
Okay. The low end of Drive to 5 for those new listeners out there is you struggle with self-belief. And on the high end of Drive to 5, you have so much self-belief that you struggle with humility. Okay, you've spent most of your life prior to the Hyperconscious Podcast on the low end of Drive to 5.
Oh, yeah.
Can you go into what you've realized recently about belief and why maybe you didn't cultivate it consistently?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so Alan and I have been talking about belief in this specific, not fundamental, framework? So Alan and I both believe that the reason he has so much belief is because he has set goals. He has decided in advance to accomplish something, then taken the necessary effort, actions, consistently enough to accomplish them. I always say that for a long time, I felt like I was lucky. I never really set goals. I never said I can do this and then consistently did it or consistently put in actions to get that.
Right.
I was naturally good at baseball. I never said I was going to make the All-Star team. I just always did. I never decided.
In advance.
I just did.
Right.
I never decided to get jacked. I just was. I mean, I don't mean that in any...
Right.
But I just was. I went to the gym. I never decided to be jacked. I just went to the gym because I wanted to be bigger. Right? I didn't really decide. I decided to make money, and I did that, but I don't think... I think
But
even
when?
then it felt lucky. The year of.
Right. That was when I think you started. That was after your rock bottom moment, though.
That was after my
So let's-
first rock bottom moment.
Yeah, let's go before the rock bottom moments. So Kevin in high school. So I decided in advance to get the President's Award, which is a 95 GPA, all throughout every report card, all through high school. And then I went and tried to prove to myself that I could do that. So I was building confidence through that
Right,
whole process.
right.
Even if you did just as well as me, but never decided in advance, we've come to realize that you're not going to have as much self-belief at the end because you didn't decide in advance. In high school, was there anything that you can think of where you did decide in advance you wanted it?
Yeah, not to go to college.
Okay.
I decided, like,
But that's not going to build self-belief, is it?
I mean, I got into schools. I just decided I didn't want to go. That was like, it's strange. Like, that's the thing that I decided in advance and then followed through on. But I was the only person that I know that did that. Everybody else went to college. So to me, I think that was actually a negative.
Perceived as one?
Yeah. But I decided. It's not because I couldn't get into college. I got into Fitchburg State. I got into Dean. Like, I could have gone. You know what I mean? But I knew I didn't want to go.
Why do you think other people struggle with self-belief?
I think most people struggle with self-belief because they have never proven to themselves that they can accomplish what they want. I think for me, everything felt lucky, and you can't replicate luck. You can't, like, if you won the lottery, how confident are you that you're going to win the lottery again? Not very.
Yeah.
Not very,
Not confident at all.
right?
Yeah.
If you just, luck is not, it's not replicable. You can't replicate it. So for me, I felt like I got lucky when I passed my personal trainer test. I felt like I got lucky when I got a relationship. I felt like I was lucky when else? Like when I got a job, I felt like I was lucky. Like you were oh my God, you and I were talking about this earlier. When I got this high-paying job that I got, all I had to do it was go through this class. I think it was a week or a 2-week class where you learned about weatherization. And at my interview, before I even got into the class, the lady there told me, I'm going to hook you up with the best company. I didn't even take the class yet. And she said, you're going to be making like anywhere from $40 to $70 an hour. And I'm going to put you in contact with them. As long as you pass the class, the job's yours. I didn't do anything. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't know that was a thing.
Right.
And like this class was Framingham SMOC. It's called SMOC. I don't know what that stands for, but this class was to help underprivileged people get jobs. So I have no idea how it all happened where I didn't get this wasn't a job that like, oh, this will help you pay the bills. This was like a life-changing job where you could make a ridiculous amount of money. But I didn't decide. I was backed into a corner. I needed money.
Wow.
So I went, I took the class, I passed, but I guess it was my character that got me the job.
When you were told you need to pass the course, then you kind of decided to pass the course to get the job, right?
I don't know that I knew I could.
But you did.
Yeah, I showed up. I did what I had to do. I don't know if I believed I could.
Wow.
I told, what, Taryn and I, was it Taryn and I that were talking about it? It was either Taryn and I or you and I that were talking about it. And I said, I'm always scared. I just show up anyway. I'm always afraid, almost always, of doing whatever it is we're doing. And I just show up anyway. That's why I prep so hard, because I don't believe that I'm going to get by naturally.
Are you afraid for Top Notch Live?
It's so far away that I haven't really thought about it. Okay. I'm sure I will be.
Right.
Yeah, I will be.
Do you think you're going to crush it?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's because I know I'm going to prep. If it was tomorrow and I didn't prep, I don't believe that I would crush it.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
No, but I don't have
even if what are you talking on? You're talking on
hyperconscious mindset.
Mindset. You don't think you'd crush it if you started tomorrow?
If the speech was tomorrow and I didn't have any
Let's
time.
say it was tomorrow and you were going on at 9:30 a.m.
I mean, I would.
Do you
prep.
think you'd crush it?
I'd prep tonight.
Okay, let's say you didn't prep. You
No.
just step on stage.
No.
But your whole life was the prep work.
Yeah, but my whole
I could talk natural health and fitness tomorrow at 9:30, hands down.
Well, yeah.
Easily.
But you and I are different creatures.
But that's the thing. You're not. Okay. Fitness. Let's say you were speaking on fitness. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. I consider you just as competent, if not more confident, in the gym. Let's say we're both speaking on training pillar tomorrow at 9:30. I know I could crush that. Do you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then I'm trying to figure out why. Why do I believe that? We both could be wrong. I could be arrogant, and you could be self-doubt right now, which is probably true.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, right? Because I could prep and then do better, and I should. And we've talked about that. We'll do another episode on that another time. Humility will be the next episode, interviewing me. No, I'm kidding. But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're better in the gym than me, right?
I would say so.
Yes. Okay. So you believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Why can I speak on it better than you?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
The answer is I probably can't.
Yeah, but no, so it's not, maybe that's not the right question. Why do I believe that you can speak better?
Right. Exactly.
And I still don't know.
Okay.
The answer is still,
Let's dig.
Probably because I've never, so we said this earlier. Okay, if you want to build belief, I'll frame it like this. If you want to build belief, here's how. If you want to actually lose belief, here's how.
Right.
If you want to build belief, you set a goal, set a small goal.
Right.
Maybe just set a small goal and then accomplish it.
Yeah.
Okay? Then the next goal that you're willing to set is a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Then accomplish it. Now, what happens is Alan wants to be a billionaire. Okay? He's not a billionaire yet. It could be up to 2 weeks. He's not a billionaire yet.
It will be more than
But
2 weeks.
since he has been constantly building belief, that is his frame of reference. That is his frame of mind. I'm not a billionaire yet. Go ahead.
Wow, I just had a little breakthrough.
Go ahead.
I do believe that's possible
Yes.
for me
Yes.
because I've been putting in
Yes.
belief reps
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah. So
you'll only ever shoot for that which you believe you can achieve, but that's predicated on the confidence conundrum and how well you've been snowballing it.
well, I think your level of belief is a lot higher than somebody who might think I can make 6 figures. That was a stretch for me.
And you already had the job to do that, though.
I know.
I literally said I was going to be a billionaire when I was broke and had when I was broke, but when I had no job.
So that's that side of it.
Right.
Now the
Right.
problem is where the place that I've lived at,
Right.
everything was by luck, and I never felt like I designed the success. So for me, it's like it's not a matter of time before I accomplish the goals that I've set out to accomplish. It's number one, will I ever? Number two, how could I ever? And number three, what are the chances it actually happens? And that's not where I live now,
No, right.
as nearly as much. I'm definitely far better than I've ever been.
Yeah.
But there's still times where it depending on what it is.
Okay, so we're going to do a little interesting exercise because I promised you guys I'd interview Kevin. Do you believe that you could be a billionaire?
Ooh.
If you wanted to be.
Not right now, no.
Okay. Let's figure out. It's because why is that?
I think
You're on the same exact trajectory as me.
because I
Why
don't
do I believe it and you don't?
because I don't know how.
Neither do I yet.
That's the thing. I need
I have no idea how.
but how
I
is,
have an idea. I shouldn't say I have no idea. I have an idea,
How is important to me?
but I think that's because you don't believe.
Probably.
Like when we talked about
Because I need action to build belief. If I don't know what action to take, then I'm only using belief as my gasoline. I need little actions along the way to build belief.
How come I don't?
Because you've had them your whole life.
The actions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every action you're taking is under the assumption that you believe that what you're doing will work. If it doesn't, it'll be worth it and
Yeah.
you'll learn.
Right.
Or it'll work eventually. For
Yeah.
me, it was always, it's not going to work now. If it doesn't work now, it's never going to work in the future. And why am I even doing this?
For people that are there, what is the thing that they need? Because I think it's interesting because I don't even. Maybe I'll decide I don't want to be a billionaire because I might not want to do what it takes, what's required of me. Maybe my priorities will shift. Like I can tell you wholeheartedly right now, like, am I certain I'll be a billionaire? No, but I am certain I will if I want to be, if I'm willing to do what it takes. Because maybe my awareness is too low of what it will take. And when I find out what it will really take, maybe I'll decide otherwise. But that's because I decide I don't want that thing. For you, it's not even an option because you don't.
I don't know how yet.
Right. The problem is you'll never know how unless you...
I know.
The how comes after.
But you have to understand, I've gotten lucky every time. I've never designed most of the things I got. I just got them.
Right. Do you think that a lot of people are there?
No. I don't know. No. I think...
Do you think they're somewhere in the middle?
Probably.
Right.
Probably. Because I don't know. I don't know why I got the things I got. Like, I never wanted to play baseball. I was forced to play. I never pictured myself making all-star team or any of that.
You were like one of the best in our high school.
I was very good. I was good at baseball, yeah. I was very good. But it's not
Did
because...
you decide to be good?
No, I was. I just was. The first time I picked up a bat, I made the all-star team. That year. First time I ever played.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome in the moment. It doesn't help.
Right.
It doesn't help. I just don't think I consciously decided.
I think I figured out which determines which end you're on. If you're on my end, your biggest challenge is humility. If you're on Kevin's end, your biggest challenge is self-confidence. I think it's who spent more time in the confidence conundrum and who spent more time snowballing it.
That's, yeah.
I think I spent my whole life deciding in advance what I wanted, not who I wanted to be. That was the mistake I made. If I decided who I wanted to be and then made sure my goals were congruent with that, I wouldn't have had my rock bottom moment to the same extent. But when it comes to the confidence conundrum, can we explain that to the listeners real quick and then figure out which end they're on so that they can really start to live in the belief?
Yeah, so picture it's a circle, right? So every action, before you take the action, there's uncertainty. And so basically, there's the confidence conundrum is the area between uncertainty and action.
Right.
And it's what you do with that uncertainty. Do you take the action anyway?
Right.
If you lack confidence, you don't, because the area between action or uncertainty and action is filled with doubt. It's filled with pain. There's no belief that this action is even worth it. Where somebody like Alan, who believes, it's just uncertainty. And I've always been uncertain. But I'm also certain that it's going to work.
You took action when you were in survival mode because you had no choice. So even though the confidence conundrum between uncertainty and action, you eventually did take action when you had to, otherwise you'd die in your own perception.
Yeah.
So like, what's an example where you were uncertain and had no belief, but you had no choice? I have to do this.
Well, the first job I ever worked, I drove 7 hours down to Delaware with my boss and lived in a house with 7 strangers doing a job I had never done in a different state.
You would never have done that if you decided in advance what you wanted.
Well, no, but I also...
But you had to do that. That's what you thought you had to do.
I remember, because it was money. It was so much money. For a kid who had no money, it was like... I remember the first week, I literally, all I could eat was deli meat. I had sandwiches. That's all I could afford. So that's all I had for money. That's all I could afford.
Right.
And I remember, like, I was making $50 an hour on that job. And it was like,
whoa,
this is how much I used to make in a day. And making this in an hour?
Yeah.
I remember the first check I got was like $1,200 or $1,300.
That's awesome.
It was unreasonable for me.
Yeah.
No college degree. Like, everybody laughed at me when I said I wasn't going to school. And I was making more money than anybody I knew.
Yeah.
And it felt like luck. Like, how did I get this? I don't even know the job. I've never done it before. Ever.
I consider you I consider you unbelievably successful.
Yeah.
You're one of the most successful people as a man I've ever met. And it's fascinating that you were able to pull that off without belief.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I think a lot of it, and obviously I don't ever want to sound egotistical, but I think I have a lot of natural talent.
Yeah.
And I think
so.
my work ethic has always been there.
Yeah.
If it's something I like. If it's not something I like, I will not work hard. It's simple. I won't. I just won't.
Well, you didn't like your job.
At the end, I didn't like my job. At the beginning, I did. I loved my job at the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why? What changed?
Money. I cared about the money.
Oh,
the second I designed a why.
But you didn't like your job. You liked the result.
No, I enjoyed the job. I genuinely did.
Oh.
Yeah, I took pride in I did. I genuinely did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I very much enjoyed it, honestly.
Okay. This is good. So the confidence conundrum, uncertainty, action.
Yeah.
What are the other two?
Oh, boy. So you'll get a result.
Yeah.
And then, I don't even, what's after that? Feedback? No, feedback is the result.
Uncertainty and action. And then the third one is you'll get a result.
And then you can, hold on.
Yeah, we're going to pull it up. But I do believe that the reason why we were talking about Justin Freeman earlier and how Kevin asked him on the show live, like, if your hero, Eminem, were to tell you that you were a bad rapper. And I interrupted Kevin and I said, Kevin, that wouldn't affect his belief at all. Why did I know that? I only knew that because it takes one to know one. And I don't want to sound egotistical on this at all, because it's not. I never knew that people didn't have this consciously. I just knew I was different but didn't know why. And I think that this is it. And I know that what I've cultivated in myself is cultivatable. I just didn't know I was doing it.
Cultivatable.
Consciously. Cultivatable.
All right, so the confidence conundrum. So you have uncertainty of results. Then you have either the lack of taking action or taking action. So we'll just say the confidence conundrum. So you have the uncertainty of results. Then you have lack of action because of that uncertainty. Then you get lack of results, which then proves to you that you're not confident.
Right.
If you take that and you switch that up by just adding belief or confidence, which you can borrow from somebody else, which I've done. So you still have the uncertainty of results. You're always going to have the uncertainty of results. But if you believe in the fact that the uncertainty will go away because you're going to be successful, it's far easier to do. So you inject belief, and then you end up taking action. And this is the biggest difference. Instead of lack of action, there's taking of action, which means you get actual results and you get feedback, which then proves to you that taking the action and that uncertainty didn't kill you. Rinse and repeat, and it's a totally different life.
It's a totally different life. You started the second one when you started the podcast.
Taking action?
Yeah, you. So when we said whether your level of belief right now from 0 to 10, rate it, okay? I believe my level of self-belief is a 10. I don't know. What do you think yours is?
7.
7. Okay. I think your level of current self-belief is predicated on how long you spent in each of these conundrums in the past several years. So I've spent most of my life without even knowing it in the one with belief, where I'm always taking action. And my darkest moments was when I wasn't taking action. The one place I had no belief was alcohol. Why? Because the actions I were taking were bad for me. And they were making me feel bad physiologically. Okay, so for you spent most of your life before in uncertainty of results and lack of action?
Yeah.
Lack of conscious action.
Yeah, but like you said, it usually took some sort of pain for me to
change. Fire.
But the reason, like, I remember sitting down. I think I was listening to something, and then I was like, they were talking about confidence, and I literally created this like right after. I was like, this is how I live my life.
Yeah.
And the only difference is belief.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're going to be uncertain. No matter what, you don't know how it's going to turn out. But if you believe, you're far more likely to believe it's going to turn out positively. Where if you're me and you think it's luck, how many times am I going to get lucky?
Right.
That's
and
the
this
biggest,
is all unconscious at the time.
And that's the biggest takeaway. Like, so again, the number one thing holding you back, in my opinion and Alan's opinion, is the lack of belief.
No.
Because if you don't believe, why would you take action? Like, why would you take action? If you don't believe that you're going to get a good result. If you don't believe that the feedback is going to be good. If you don't believe that if you succeed, you can take action and succeed again. Why would you do it in the first place?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
And that's where I lived for a long-ass time. Now, I think the one thing is I've always been capable of handling pain. I think that's one of the other benefits, too. Like, once this started and I started to understand that, like, feedback's a good thing, it's easier to take action now.
Yeah.
Because things don't hurt me that bad. It hurts for sure. But it's not enough to stop me.
Fire.
And I think that's another thing is, like, if you don't believe in yourself and you have very thin skin, you have to change one of those. Because you're going to be so afraid of the feedback.
Yeah. Or you have to start way smaller. Yeah,
I would start small no matter what.
Start small anyway. So, okay, in your presentation, so we were talking to Wayne. That's going to be dropping on Sunday.
Yes.
Wayne McGee from
UMass
Maritime. And we were asking him, we were going back and forth, like, what do college students need more than anything? And we figured out clarity and confidence. And we were talking about how confidence, like a lack of confidence, which he believes college students struggle with most, is probably because they had a lack of clarity of what they wanted. Because as soon as you had clarity on what you really wanted and decided in advance to get it, all of a sudden you became in this side of confidence conundrum. What's the opposite of confidence conundrum? The confidence cycle? The confidence builder?
I'd have to think of a
Yeah.
confidence cyclone. No, I don't like that. I'd have to think about it.
The confidence builder for now. Temporary name. So as soon as
Confidence construction.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, naming things is my jam.
Dude, that's fire. Okay. So as soon as Kevin went from the confidence conundrum and started the podcast and decided in advance to have the greatest podcast ever of all time, he went from the confidence conundrum to the confidence construction. As long as you stay in there, you're going to keep building belief.
Well, think of this too. So if you really, we always talk about why coaching is important because they're the ones who give you the belief. That's exactly, not in all cases, but if you're somebody who lacks confidence, the number one reason you need a coach is because they will inject belief into you. You will then take action. They will be there to help you with the feedback. Oh, the YouTube thing just shut off.
It did.
And then they will help you lock in the proof. That is the number one reason why people who are low on confidence need a coach.
And when they get bad results, they'll be there to support you and say, don't worry, that's just this time. Here's what you do differently. Yeah, this is absolute fire. So should we read the Alessandro thing?
I don't know that we're going to... Can you read it in 2 minutes? Because if not, we can hold off and do it on the next episode.
I think we should do that.
Okay.
Because this is long.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
long.
though, Alessandro, Alessandro basically put in the Hyperconscious Nation a very powerful thing about how he's believed in himself and how he's put something off but now feels amazing because he finally did it, his online course.
Alessandro, all the way from Italy.
Yeah.
The Hyperconscious Nation is just wide and far. All over the place.
Global.
It's global.
They would say.
So that's, I think, the biggest takeaway for me from this episode. I genuinely think the number one thing holding people back is confidence, is belief. Because even if you have clarity on what you want, if you don't believe you'll get there, you'll never start taking the action. So I think that, if anything, just because you don't believe in yourself right now doesn't mean you never will. I know exactly the way you're feeling. I still have those moments, but I've signed up for this. You know what I mean? Like, we're 260 episodes in. We're doing live events. We just got another speech. So, there's so many things that are happening that at this point, I can't fake it. That's why I hate people. I don't hate people. I hate when people say fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you don't ever make it? You've been faking it your whole life.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, you said you used to put on a facade.
I did.
And
But
it used to eat
I
at
don't
you.
think you can fake it till you make it because the only way you make it is when you're real. That's the only way you can make it long term.
That's fire.
And be happy along the journey. Like, if you're always faking it, you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to gain something when you're the one who has to be growing as a person in order to make it.
You have the 5 steps that people should take to build confidence.
Do I have them?
You do have them.
Yeah.
Maybe not off the top of your mind, but there's 5 steps in your presentation.
Yeah, fear chase, start small, get around people who believe in you, don't fear feedback. Hold on.
The PowerPoint was just up. But these are the things you can be doing. If you lack self-belief like Kevin once did, and Kevin still practices these all the time, and we all need to.
And get familiar.
And get familiar.
Yeah.
What does that one mean?
One of the reasons you don't have any confidence or you don't have any belief is because you're so uncertain.
Right.
So build in some certainty into what you're doing by getting more knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Get
Like
more
podcasting.
awareness.
Like, if you don't know anything about podcasting, how confident are you going to be you're going to be good at it? Start by watching other people. Start by noticing the equipment they have. Start by, is that a 15-second intro? How long is the intro? What are the questions like? Right. What is the music like? That sort of thing.
Yeah, get certainty. Get as much certainty as you
Certainty is unbelievably important.
10-second blip on the number one thing holding you back. It's funny because I think the number one thing holding people back is ego.
Makes sense.
It's funny. Yeah,
I think it's a number one holding. Yeah, that for some people.
For me.
But I think for the vast majority of people, it probably is belief.
Yeah.
10-second blip. I don't know, man. One of my favorite sayings is the biggest difference between the person you are and the person you want to be is your habits. You have to make it a habit to build belief. That's why it's called my presentation. One of the speeches I give is called Cultivating Confidence, because it's something that you plant and you grow and you water and you keep planting, growing and watering and harvesting it. And I think that it's always something that you have to be focused on.
And if you stop watering the plant dies.
Yeah. You got one?
10-second blip?
Yeah, 10-second blip. Don't butcher this now.
The 3 things you must subconsciously believe in order to achieve anything great is Number one, you must believe that the treasure is out there and it exists and it's possible. Number two, that you will eventually find it. And number three, that it will be worth it when you do.
Fire. I literally just had a possible client message me. I just pulled up my phone. It was right there.
Hey, strong
Maybe
work.
it's because we're getting vulnerable on here.
Well, luckily, you believe in your ability to
I
convert.
do, but that was not always that way. Anything, another 10-second blip. What time are we? I don't know what time we have.
We're good.
Anything that you see, I won't say us because you kind of always have believed, but anything you see me doing at the beginning, when I first started doing it, I didn't believe in myself, and I had to build that up. I had to practice that. I had to cultivate that. So just because you don't believe right now, that's fine. Start on the base level of whatever that is. If it's a podcast, start by interviewing your best friend. Start by talking in the mirror. Start by talking in the microphone by yourself. That's how I started.
Right.
The first episodes I did were alone.
Right.
So start small.
Scratching the surface.
Chase your effing
fucking dreams.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this. Up next, as Alan mentioned, we sat down in person in studio with the amazing Wayne McGee. When he was born, camera shut off. When he was born, he had a rare, not disease. Was it a disease? Condition. He had a 1 in a million chance of living.
Yeah.
To pass the age of 2 years old.
He was literally the size of the palm of an average man's hand. It was a really good episode.
It was. We
Talked
dug
about
into
leadership.
that, and we got very, very vulnerable in terms of his relationship things and limiting beliefs he had, his rock bottom moments. Not only is he an incredible man, but this was one of his, I think it was his second podcast ever.
Yeah.
And he got unbelievably vulnerable and added so much value. You guys are absolutely going to love him, and he talked a lot about building belief as well.
He's overcome more adversity than almost anyone I've ever met. And I'm so... Honestly, I was blessed to have him in the studio. That was the first guest in the studio.
We hope you will enjoy, and we will talk to you on Sunday.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.